If you've been procrastinating on getting your dresser organized and cleared off, then this is your sign to go ahead and clear it off today. Hello and welcome back to Black Homemaking, where I help other women grow in Christian homemaking, in their families, and in hospitality. And today I'll be giving you a behind the scenes of how I am going to finally get my dresser cleared off, and hopefully for good. Have you ever finally set aside the time to clear off that cluttered dresser, or maybe the dining room table or the kitchen counter for only a few days to go by, or maybe a week, before everything that was put away and in its place has found its way back to where it was before? If that's you, then keep watching today's video of how I create order out of disorder when it comes to flat surfaces in my home. And before we get into my dresser today, I just want to get into why this even keeps happening in the first place. So when it comes to my home, I have been able to get in a pretty good groove of keeping our dining room table and our kitchen counters, for the most part, clear the majority of the time. I used to have stuff completely covered on the dining room table and in the kitchen before I started to implement some of these things. And so today I would like to use those same principles that I use for those two flat surfaces in my home for my dresser. But I think that the major thing that helped me the most with both of those areas was just realizing that everything needs a home. I noticed that the things in our home that didn't really have a place to go, they were just kind of stuck in that limbo stage, they would find their way to these common flat surfaces. I had to really be intentional to say, okay, I see that this type of thing keeps finding its way here because it has nowhere to go. One example is we used to get a lot of library books, and I didn't really have anywhere in the house for them to go. Like, I didn't want them to be mixed with the regular books. Didn't really want to leave them on the dining room table because it would just take up all the space. So I had to be intentional and find a place in our home for them to go. And so at one point we had them in this little special tote, so we would have it close to the door, but then my toddler wouldn't be able to get into it and take it all over the house. And so that was one way that we did it, but it was just really being intentional about, okay, this type of thing, this library book finds its way here because it has nowhere to go. And so another important thing that plays into this is just being very intentional about the things that we keep in our homes. And so are we keeping this thing because it's useful to us, because it's functional, because it brings up a good memory, or are we just holding on to it because we are afraid that we're going to need it someday, or somebody gifted it to us, but it's really weighing on our mental health? It's just really important so that you're mindful of the things that you have within your home. And so for the last few years, I've been really getting more minimal when it comes to the things that I own. Not that I have few things, but that I'm just very intentional and mindful of the things that I bring within my home and keep in my home, and just thinking through, like, is this something that I want to take care of, maintain, find a place for it? And so if it is, then you have to find a place for it. And if it's not, it might be time to get rid of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video so we can get this dresser cleared off. And before I show you, please do not be judgmental. I just wanted to take you all behind the scenes of what it looks like for me to do this process. And so please be gentle, okay? So this is what my dresser looks like. Months and months have gone by and I have just not taken the time to just really clear it off. And so as I'm decluttering my dresser, I'm also going to be reorganizing my little bookshelf just in a way that makes sense to the life stage that I'm in now. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, the more things you have without a place in your home, the more likely they will gravitate to flat surfaces. And because of this simple fact, the first step in decluttering my dresser is to remove every single thing that does not belong in this space. This part of the process was very humbling because why did I find a positive pregnancy test? Like, why was that just living on my dresser after all these months and years? Crazy. But as you'll see, I'm removing about 90% of the things on my dresser because they definitely do not need to just be living on my dresser at all times. So one of the main things that I decluttered were my perfumes. In general, I don't really use perfume that often, but I especially don't use it right now that I have a young baby that is always baby wearing. And so I have to make a decision whether or not I want to get rid of it or just move it to another spot. And I put all the things that don't belong on the dresser, whether or not they have a home, in a laundry basket to put away later. I recorded this video during my son's nap time, so I didn't have time to put everything back where it belonged in the moment. But even if you do have time, I've heard that it can be helpful when decluttering so that you don't get distracted in another room when you're trying to put things away. So not only can it help keep you focused, but it can also help you with doing the next right thing. Even if you don't have time to complete the whole task at once, as a mom, it's better to break it down into bite-sized steps and accomplish as much as you can instead of waiting for the perfect window to just do it all in one sweep. Before we continue with today's video, please leave a comment and let me know which area in your home constantly collects clutter no matter what you try. Looking at what's left after you've removed the first stage of items that automatically stuck out as not belonging on your surface, you may be asking yourself, how do you know whether something belongs in a space or not? A few questions that help guide me in this process are: 1. When was the last time I used this item? And this just really gets at whether or not you should even keep it anywhere in your home. If it's not something that you ever use, maybe you need to get rid of it altogether. 2, if you did use it recently, did you use it by your dresser or counter or somewhere else? 3, if you use it recently by your dresser or flat surface, is this something you use multiple times a week or at least weekly? 4, when you see it visibly, does it create mental clutter or does it help you remember something that's important to you? These questions help you gauge whether it makes sense or serves you to keep it on top and in your sight every time you pass it. Or maybe you should store it somewhere else that is a little bit less accessible and visible, or maybe you need to get rid of it or donate it or trash it. For example, I like to keep paper towels in the back of the house because I may have to clean up a spill and I do not want to have to walk all the way to the kitchen to do that. Is it cute on my dresser? No, but it makes my life so much easier and I reach for it multiple times a week. And so for me, with the things that are left, I'm looking again to just make sure that it makes sense for the top of the dresser, and if it does, then I'm putting it into categories of similar items. So I'm putting my pumping supplies together, all the paperwork, jewelry, and tech accessories. And before you come for my tissue box, yes, I am taping up my tissue box because like they always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I get it, the box is broke, but the Kleenex are good. You know what I mean. And then you will take these categories and organize them logically in the space that you're working with. So for example, my son loves touching all the technology items. So I'm putting that at the very top of my bookshelf. And then my pumping supplies, because for a toddler, those are very exciting as well. And then I'll follow that up with my household management books and cookbooks. And then I'll have my journals and any child-related books on the very bottom shelf. So essentially, I'm just strategically placing them in an order that makes sense for my toddler's interests. After things are cleared off and what's meant to be there is in its place, you may want to consider adding containers to truly give the items a home. Creating a container could be a designated shelf. So for example, my second shelf is the home for my commonly used pumping supplies. The home for my pumping supplies is not on the top of my dresser. It is now on the second shelf. A container can also be a tray for my ring, earrings, and bobby pins that I reach for day after day. Another container could be one of those letter trays for my important documents. In our home, the mail comes in and has a temporary home, and then from there I'll do the first sorting where I decide if it's either trash, needs to be shredded, if action is needed, or if it can be filed away. I will trash the mail in the front and take the shred and file away stack to the back. However, every time I start sorting the mail, it is not a guarantee that we'll have the time or the ability to shred it with little kids around, so it'll typically end up on the dresser. And so instead of fighting this, since I've noticed that it happens so often, now I'm ready to invest in a letter tray and make it official. I wasn't able to buy one before finishing this video, but it's in my plans for the near future, and I'm really hoping that I can find one at the thrift store. Because containers set the boundaries for items, it gives them an official home address. You don't have to buy any fancy organizers to accomplish this. You can reuse boxes from other things and repurpose the containers that you already have within your home. Lastly, you want to commit to the spot. When you're tempted to lay something on your dresser, take the few seconds to put it back where it actually belongs. As people, we're more motivated to keep a space clean and take the next action to maintain it than if it gets cluttered. It's easier to follow in the path that's already there. So try to avoid the mini action of putting it down because it will make it easier to put something else down that shouldn't go there. However, let's say it's late at night and you really don't want to walk all the way downstairs to put one glass away in the kitchen. If you must put it there, try to create a kind of guideline for yourself to try to return it within 24 hours or at the beginning or the end of your day. Keeping a flat surface cleared off for good takes finding a home for everything, logically organizing what's left and giving it an official address, aka finding a container for it, and committing to it. I love the final look of my dresser and my bookshelf. It's been a few days now, and every time I walk in my room, it just feels like a brand new room, and my mind is just so much clearer and the mental load is lighter. And I want the same for you. So I challenge you to commit to clearing off your dresser or your kitchen table within the next 24 hours. I want this video to be encouraging for you, and then I want you to be able to have the same peace in your own home. I hope today's video was helpful and that it encouraged you to do the same for your home. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing for more. Please check out the blog at blackhomemaking.com for more tips like these, and stay blessed.